The Victorian border town of Echuca is experiencing its worst flooding in decades, with the Murray River rising above the 1993 peak, as communities in NSW's Northern Rivers region remain on flood watch. Forecasters were predicting significant rainfall overnight on Saturday and continuing to Monday in the northern rivers, with flash flooding and riverine flooding likely. Financial assistance available for Victorian flood victims greater than the NSW SES says residents, especially those who have been flooded in the past, should prepare. While the current predictions are not as severe as earlier this year, low-lying areas are still likely to be impacted, Incident Controller Tom Jory said in a statement on Saturday. NSW police said a man in his 30s had died in a suspected drowning on Saturday morning at West Ballina on the state's far north coast. The Bureau of Meteorology warned of heavy rainfall over northeast NSW from Sunday morning, affecting those in Lismore, Grafton, Casino, Kilgall, Yamba and McLean. Falls of up to 150 millimeters in 6 hours were possible in some areas. More than 100 flood warnings were current around the state on Saturday night. In the south, emergency warnings were in place for parts of Narrandera, while residents in areas of Gunnedah in the state's north were ordered to evacuate. Warnings were also in place for Marie and Carroll Village. NSW Emergency Services Minister Steph Cook said large parts of the state, including the inland and west, were in for a difficult few days. Emergency services are preparing for a busy weekend as the wild weather arrives, with volunteers handing out 30,000 sandbags a day. "We are quite literally sandbagging the state," Cook said on Saturday. 200 defense personnel are being deployed in Dubbo, Marie and the Northern Rivers, with 2 more Australian Defence Force helicopters coming online ready for night rescues. Specialist swift water rescue crews have also been dispatched to the flood-threatened north, while others are in place at Dubbo. The 12 local government areas added to the state's natural disaster declaration list are Albury, Berrigan, Carrithul, Cobar, Federation, Griffith, Hay, Leedon, Murray River, Murrumbidgee, Narrandera and Wagga Wagga. Evacuate now. Meanwhile, in Victoria, the Murray River surpassed the 1993 level of 94.77 meters above sea level at Echuca on the Victoria-NSW border on Saturday night and was expected to peak around 95 meters overnight. More rain is forecast for the flood-hit state, with a low-pressure system predicted to move over northern Victoria on Sunday. The state's northeast and far northwest were tipped to cop the brunt of the falls, and the Bureau of Meteorology predicts the system will bring wet weather to southern Victoria early in the week. At Echuca, water was spilling over a levee near the center of town on Saturday, with authorities warning anyone left in the area to leave while they can. "We don't want to be rescuing people. Our strongest message is, evacuate now," SES Victoria's Tim Weebush said on Saturday. More than 70 flood warnings have been issued around the state. Kerrang residents were advised to evacuate amid fierce flood water might not recede for a month or more. "We've got water coming in from everywhere," Ganawara Shire Mayor Charlie Gillingham said on Saturday. A major flood warning was issued for the Loddon River Loddon Weir to the Kerrang area on Saturday night. Meanwhile, in the state's southwest, the SES received about 140 requests for help from Geelong to Hamilton. 3 people were rescued after driving through floodwaters near Geelong. The SES has received more than 8,300 calls for help since the weather emergency began and more than 750 flood-related rescue requests. ADF personnel have been deployed to assist with preparation, including sandbagging at Barma, along the Murray River and Swan Hill. Flood warnings remain for towns along the Loddon, Goulburn, Campaspe and Avoca rivers.